Skateboarding came around when people that like to surf had finally come up with something to do when they couldn't surf anymore. Whether the waves were too low, or the weather was too harsh, or they just simply couldn't surf that time of year. This brought about the first skateboards being made. The first skateboard was made by a company in Los Angeles. First person to do a trick on one of those skateboards was Alan Gelfand, and he called the trick an ollie. This led to many people around the world creating these boards and trying to copy these tricks. Many people have started to advance these different tricks, and eventually it became something performed in events like the X Games or freestyle events. People everywhere were attempting these tricks and to create new tricks, and Tony Hawk had landed the first 900 in the X Games. He had finally landed this trick in the X Games in the San Francisco Bay Area. Landing these new tricks and feeling satisfaction with the fruits of your efforts is what skateboarding is all about. Many of me and my friends had started skateboarding, hoping to find a new hobby and get a cool new skill. These are some of the friends I could interview and what they think about skateboarding.
Tommy Guerrero, definitely. There wasn't really a reason aside from the fact that it was really cool to see another Asian skateboarding. It just kind of got to me because he was the first person I saw skateboarding clips of. I like to skateboard because it's fun, plus a lot of people I knew and were close to me skateboarded, so it wasn't really that hard to be influenced by them.
In skateboarding, something important I've learned is that it's always important to get back up and try again, even though you messed up, because you're gonna mess up a lot.
Skateboarding's taught me that persistence is key. If you give up, you won't get anywhere, and by not giving up and keeping at it, that's how you learn new tricks and progress.
One of my biggest successes in skateboarding is doing an ollie, because that's the most basic trick that you can do as a starter, and it was just awesome to do one for the first time. One of my biggest failures in skateboarding is trying to drop in for the one of the first few times, because I just kept on falling and it hurt a lot, but I just kept trying.
My biggest failure while skateboarding would have to be my failed attempt at a board slide when I went to execute it, but I ended up landing awkwardly on the railing and snapped my board in half. It's been about 2 years, I'd say. I started skating back in my sophomore year, so now that I'm a senior, it's been a good while.
I have been skateboarding since around March of 2020. If I were to skateboard for the rest of my life, I would strive for a rally dark slide, which is when you slide on, which is when you do a grind on the opposite side of the board.
If I were to keep skating for the rest of my life, the one thing I would strive for is to become pro. I would love to be sponsored by DGK or Vans, maybe even New Balance. Those are just some brands that I would love to be recognized by, and they're highly recognized within the skater community, and it's just something I would love to be a part of. The meaning of skateboarding is different for everyone, I believe. For me personally, skateboarding is a sense of community, friendship, and relaxation. I've never met more chill people than I do when I'm out skating, especially when I'm at skate parks. Everyone there is, most of the time, very welcoming and helpful, all just because we share an interest in skating, which is pretty crazy. Some of my closest friends are people that I actually skate with, just being out there with them, doing what we love is just something you can't put into words. There's never a dull moment. Skating for me will always be a way to deal with stress and other things that are going on in my life. It's just something about being on my board and just cruising around or getting a line in makes everything else going on irrelevant.
A lot of moments in skateboarding are about learning from past mistakes and continuing to strive forward, knowing that you can do better. A lot of people quit skateboarding because it is really challenging. People expect it to be easy, and when they're met with the challenges that skateboarding poses, they often give up. But the people who stick with skateboarding will always tell you how it feels amazing landing something that you've been working towards for months, maybe even years. But I know that when it comes to reason, or comes to me and the reason that I skateboard, it's all because of the thrill of learning a new trick. And partially because I want to be able to show off. If you've been paying attention to the background, you can see me struggling to land a kickflip. And this was me trying for, I think it was 5 weeks in a row trying to land a freaking kickflip. And it took me so long that when I finally landed it, you can see just how excited I was. And moments like that are really what I think skateboarding is all about. And I think that a lot of people, miss out on that experience when they give up on skateboarding at the very beginning. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all later.